Okay, there we go. We're live with an. I'm not really. I'm still kind of figuring out what we're calling this thing, Matt. Because right now I've just settled on Wikid Boyz because we are both Wikid Publishing, but I'm not even sure. I'm really not sure you can call a stream that. Maybe Wikid stream. That'd be cool. Although that sounds like something we'd be doing officially with Wikid. But okay, but enough about sweating the small stuff. If you guys can't tell, it's still me, Brett, using Dan's channel while I wait on my channels to get that strike off. It's a long story behind that, but today we've got our stream has hit something of a big deal. We have an actual pro on our show. You might know him as one half of the creators behind the webcomic Axe Cop. You're probably more familiar with the cartoon, like me. He's Ethan Nicolle. Say hi, Ethan.
Hello. Thanks for having me on. Yep. Is there a link I can share or something on here? I'm looking on your... let my followers know what's going on here. Is this live?
Yeah, it's live. Let me see if I can... I'll send you a link I'll send you a link right now. Give me a sec.
Cool. Anyway, yeah, I came on because I'm self-promoting like a crazy self-promotional whore right now, but I'm happy to talk about anything. I just want to get the one thing out of the way that I've been working on for a while. I did a Kickstarter for a book called Bears Want to Kill You, which is connected to my webcomic Bearmageddon.
I gotta hear this. Does this have anything to do with, say, Shirtless Bear Fighter?
No, I actually started my comic a long time before Shirtless Bear Fighter, but I think it's awesome. I haven't actually read the comic, but I've seen the art and stuff. I think it looks awesome. I think
when you're seeing a half-naked dude German suplex a bear, that's like peak macho.
Yeah, and that's what in Bearmageddon, I had a guy who looks a lot like their guy. His name's Dickinson Kildare, and he's a bear fighter, and he wears nothing but furs and bare-chested and black beard and everything. But so it started as a webcomic that actually it started before Axe Cop, and then I just kind of been plugging away at it ever since Axe Cop. So on the side, I've always done this other comic called Bearmageddon. And a thing that I did to try to get the comic attention was I started making bear memes as a way to kind of like try to market the comic, just to try to raise awareness. And I was just experimenting with different ways to kind of get people's attention.
Whoa. You tried marketing this with memes?
Yeah.
Matt, do you realize what Ethan just admitted?
Yes, we're going to see a lot of memes from you.
No, as in Brian was not the first person to meme his comic into success.
Who's that?
Brian Ball, he's one half of the creator behind Rags.
Okay, I don't know my comics very well. I spend a lot more time making them than reading them.
Oh, you should. Brian's Ethan, I need to send you Brian and Trent's Twitter there and Liz's, because yeah, it's okay. The short version is Rags is a quote unquote zombie comic where the main character is based off Twitch streamer Liz Finnegan, and it was created by two guys that both Matt and I are friends with, Brian Ball and Trent Luther. It's wonderful. I'll say that.
That's cool. Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, and it was. I will give you their Twitters right now, because yeah, you need to be following these people. They are great.
Cool. Yeah. Always like a good follow. But yeah, so I made these bear memes, and more often than not, like, they've done better than my comic ever could. Sometimes there's certain ones like that have made it to #1 on Reddit, and just like go all over the place. They get shared like crazy, and then they get stolen, and people take my watermark off of them and share them. Like I see millions of shares on ones that don't even link back to my site, but like people like these things. So I decided to I wanted to do a Kickstarter, but I wanted to do it for something that I wasn't like, I wouldn't be afraid. I wouldn't be super sad if it failed. I'd be sad, but not super sad. So I tried this bear book, and it funded like 500%, so did really well. So I did this book called Bears Want to Kill You, funded, and I'm basically this week, I'm at the last week of pre-orders. So I have I have a preview up on my site. You can see the first 30 pages. It's just a book. It's a survival guide to fighting bears with the understanding that you're going to die. And it's very detailed. It's a 244-page full color, like a textbook. It has like graphs and lots of photoshopping, and it's pretty epic. And so I'm making 500 special editions, and that's the main reason I wanted to get on as many podcasts and live streams this week as I could, because I've sold most of them, but I'm trying to get as many because I can. I'm trying to build up the money to actually market the book once it launches at the end of January. So if you want to be one of the last people to get one of these special editions, the special edition actually kept getting upgraded because I kept meeting new stretch goals. So it's coming with a slipcase with fake leather on it and foil stamp, and it's gonna have a fold out, and it's hardcover with a dust jacket, and it's really nice. So it's gonna be really nice. And after those are sold, it's gonna be just a paperback book. So anyway, that's that spiel. I can give you guys a link and stuff, but.
Oh, damn, that's actually pretty amazing.
There you go.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, so that's it. So is the premise behind Bearmageddon exactly what it sounds like? Bears cause the apocalypse?
Yeah, and it's kind of like Shaun of the Dead. It's like it follows a group of slackers, but they end up stuck on, or they end up kind of under the wing of this wild woodsman they find out in the woods, kind of like a shirtless bear fighter type guy. His name's Dickinson Killdeer, and he's this kind of guy with a mysterious past that's covered in furs, and he's very good at fighting bears. And when they meet him, they're like chained to trees, trying to save the environment. And they, to prove their point, one of the guys swallowed the key, and so they can't get off of the trees. And the bears come to attack, and the guy saves them. And now they're trying to decide what they're. So it starts off with these. So some of their are involuntarily there, but they're in this this environmentalist camp, all chained to trees, and then bears attack, and then they realize the bears are headed into the city, and they are attacking everybody. And his family's back there, so he had run away from. He'd want to run away from the city, from his home, to try to go find himself in kind of like in that Into the Wild movie. And then as soon as he did that, bears went and attacked the city. And now he's like, I kind of love my family, and I'm scared that they're all going to die. So now I got to go back there. And he has this friend, or this guy, Dickinson Killdeer, who's like Davy Crockett / Wolverine / Gary Busey. And so they head back. And that's kind of the main volume 1 story. And bears are going through all sorts of strange morphs. Like there's some with tentacles. Like the whole book starts off, and the city workers are pulling a giant thing out of the sewers, and it turns out to be a octo bear. It's just a bear with these tentacles. It's dead, and they're trying to figure out where it came from. And then throughout the comic, you find more strange hybrids, and they're trying to figure out why.
Interesting. So, but yeah, I mean, like, is it fair to? Where do you think it leans more towards? Is it horror, or is it horror comedy? It's
horror comedy for sure. So definitely on that's why I compare it to Shaun of the Dead more than I would like The Walking Dead, because it has its serious moments, but it is overall comedic. And I really do try to make it scary. Like when the bear, you'll notice if you ever check out the art, the characters I draw in a very cartoony style, but the bears I draw as realistic as I can without killing myself. So the bears are very detailed. I draw, all the little hairs, and I make them look, beady little black eyes. But the human characters are very cartoony, have circular eyes, and they're very stylized. So I kind of do that on purpose because I think there's something kind of almost terrifying about a more light, cartoony style being attacked by a very realistic, brutal, animalistic style. And then when they tear them apart and their guts come out, it's like, and it's almost like that style of art shouldn't be able to kill and destroy that style of art. I don't know. There's something about it that feels right to me, so I do it. But
well, you probably couldn't pull off the comedic elements as well if it was more realistic. I mean, maybe you could, yeah. But like, it's just I found like it's a lot easier to do like more comedic books when the art style is more stylized, more cartoony, more exaggerated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the weird balance I've tried to get with Bearmageddon is I want it to have that, but I want it to still be not too goofy, you know. So, but I'm pretty proud of it. I mean, it's a passion project, so I do it all I can. I mean, right now I've been so busy with this book, and I've had some issues with my neck from bad posture while drawing. So everybody watch your drawing posture. And I've been busy with a lot of other work, drawing work. So for the actual Armageddon comic has been on a hiatus for a couple months now, but I've been plugging away at it for almost like probably 8-9 years now, and I'm almost through volume 2. But it's slow going, but it's because I want it to be awesome. So you'll see. I mean, there's epic scenes in there where there's massive, you know, semi trucks plowing through crowds of bears and just stuff that just takes a long time to draw, and I want to draw it right. So,
yeah. Well, Matt and I, we don't really have to worry about that because we don't draw our comics; we write them. We have people to do that.
Yeah, I'm drawing a comic for hire right now, and I just there's certain pages where I look at it, what it says in the script. I'm like, oh, come on, 9 panels, come on, what? You want me to draw this on this page? You just sit there and get mad at the writer.
I don't know, because like I was in a Matt and I were in a stream with my colorist Ginger where she was coloring the cover to the cover for my first issue of my book Changeling, and it's actually set up kind of complex because it's supposed to have like a broken mirror effect for Maeve, the main character, and like it's supposed to be like a thing where the shards kind of are flipping between her human and fae form. Like that's a little complicated to do, but Ginger was like up to the task. She was like up for doing a challenge. But
that's cool. Yeah, no, I think that there's both. I mean, for me, when I'm drawing, for one thing, I think I'm kind of, there's different artists, and I'm not somebody who really likes drawing other people's creations. So when I have to do it I just need the money. I just do it. So I have this like thing where I want to be spending all my time drawing my own ideas, and I think that's some people really enjoy drawing other people. Like they just like the challenge of drawing from some other, and I like it too when I sometimes, you know, I kind of get into it. Like I'm drawing this zombie comic right now, and sometimes it is really fun just to draw a crazy page full of zombies, just, you know, stylized and all wonky and weird. And you know, I still finished the page, and I'm proud of what I did.
Yeah, I mean that's actually pretty awesome. In fact, is there anything else you can tell us about Bearmageddon, Ethan?
Well, if you go to bearmageddon.com, you can read the whole thing. So it's BEARMAGEDDON. There's also a really good right on the homepage there. There's a trailer. It's pretty awesome. I'm pretty proud of it. It's the voice on that trailer is Peter Serafinowicz. He's the guy that played the Tick on the Amazon series, and he's the voice of Darth Maul. He was on Axe Cop, and he's really awesome. So he does. I asked him if he could.
You said Peter Sarah. What in it?
Serafinowicz.
Wait, wasn't he that guy from Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yep, he was in that too. Yeah, he was in John Wick 2.
And that was Brett's
and Shaun of the Dead. What's that?
And that was Brett's mind imploding.
Yeah.
He did a lot of voices in Axe Cop. People don't. There's a lot of amazing voices in Axe Cop. I think a lot of people that didn't really, unless you really paid attention, you didn't even realize.
Well, for starters, I'm still just blown away that I'm talking to a guy who actually got to work with Nick Offerman.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky. He's a cool guy. He's pretty much like what you think he would be like. He's like that.
So wait a minute. Are you telling me that there's no difference between Ron Swanson and Nick Offerman?
Oh, except for politically. Yeah, politically he's still different politically. But he's the jovial. He loves the people around him. He's very like, have you ever noticed, like, because I did the illustrations in his 2 of his 3 books, and his books are almost all about. They're not, even though there's, you know, his publisher knows the reason people are going to buy books about it, like by him, are because they're about him, because people are interested in him. But his books are almost all about other people in his life. Like he has he's very humble, and he loves other people. Like in his last book, he wrote this paragraph about me in there, like just praising my art and stuff. And And he was always very complimentary. Through the Axe Cop process, he'd always kind of like give me credit where everybody was talking about my little brother, which was deserved, and that's the interesting part of it. Fat guy draws comic is not an exciting headline, but 5-year-old writes comic is. But he would always kind of not stick up for me, but he would say, well, I think the genius here is that 5-year-olds always imagine and fat guys are always drawing comics. He didn't use those words, but that that Ethan decided to combine the two ideas or whatever. Like he was always so. I mean, he answers my texts to this day if I have a question or something. But
wow.
And he even promoted this last book, Bears Want to Kill You. So he's that's one thing through the Axe Cop. Axe Cop was like this storm of. I was this weird, like people loved me for like a couple years, like. Everybody was talking about it, and loved us. It was like a story that people just loved and wanted to know about, and I knew when that was happening, like this is not gonna last forever. This is like a thing that I just happened to accidentally get myself in the middle of. Enjoy what lasts, and sure enough, as things fizzled out, there are plenty of people who were like kind of high profile and stuff who just stopped answering emails and stopped talking to me. But Nick is one of those people that just has always been there. He was always willing to talk and always, he just, once you're a friend, you're a friend. So Nick Offerman's a good guy.
Yeah, despite the fact that he keeps referring to the president as Nacho.
We all got our politics, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold it against him though.
Yeah. I think like a lot of people that are coming from the left, I do think there are mean-spirited people. I think there's mean-spirited people on both sides that use their politics as a way to be a bully. And then I think there's people that really care genuinely, and they see their path as the only way to things getting better. And I think that's, it's admirable, even if you did wrong, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like I can't dunk on Nick too much, because like I said, like I originally got into Parks and Rec because Chris Pratt was on it, but I ended up staying because of Ron.
Yeah, I honestly, that's the weird thing for me. Like when I got a call to meet Nick Offerman, that he wanted to meet me, I hadn't watched an episode of Parks and Rec yet. Like I didn't really know about him. I'd had a lot of people in the last few months coming up to me saying something about Axe Cop is Ron Swanson and Ron Swanson should be Axe Cop or whatever. And I didn't quite know what they're talking about. But I agree. Like once I got the call, I was like, I got to watch this show. So I said, and he's definitely my favorite part of it. And I don't know if I'm just biased, but
well, how can you not? Ron is honestly, I think I've seen articles or reading somewhere. I read somewhere that Ron was more or less the breakout character of that show. Like,
yeah, that was something when I met him for the first time, we had lunch at this place called the Oinkster out in Eagle Rock, and which is in California down here, and that was interesting. I'm like, how am I? He's pretty famous. How's he going to eat at this restaurant? So I'm standing out in the parking lot, wondering where I'm sure I'll recognize him. So all of a sudden, it's because his writing partner is a very big Axe Cop fan. That's how we got connected. So these two guys show up. His writing partner's a very tall guy, also a very nice guy named Martin. And Nick comes. I see him. The shorter guy walks up, very burly looking, and he has this big like loggers, like lumberjack style flannel on, and he has like a beanie,
mustache,
the giant mustache, because they're filming right now. So he usually has his mustache shaved when they're not filming. But
really?
He has these giant sunglasses and like a beanie, like knit hat. And like he's just in like disguise. It's like a hot day in LA, and he's like all bundled up and covered up in like this hat and sunglasses and a big coat. So we go in and they sat us down, and it was totally crowded in there. And we sat one of those tables where it's really an 8-seated table, but there's just like an umbrella in the middle and like a little divider, and they pretend like it's 2 tables. So we sat down at this table, and there was 4 guys at the table next to us, and you can see the look on their eyes when like they realized who sat down right next to him. We sat there and talked, and he talked about that. He said, throughout my career, the criticism I got was you're too intense, you're too severe, your facial expressions too serious, like everything. And he said, and then like as soon as like I landed my gig at Parks and Rec, everything that they criticized me for is what they complimented me for. Like I said, so his point in that was just you just got to be who you are, because eventually something will find you, or maybe it won't. But you just got to be who you are, because it turns out they were wrong, you know. So
yeah, I would definitely not disagree with that. I mean, because like. I can't. I cannot detect a lie in that statement whatsoever at all, man.
I mean, sometimes I do feel like it's also kind of like the only thing that I feel like I'm at risk of being a little too I don't even know what the right way to put this is. Like, those statements could be meaningless when you say like just be yourself. Like, that always kind of drives me crazy. That's like the Disney movie theme. But there is an undeniable truth in the idea that, like, you know, deep down, you do have to kind of go with your gut in life a lot. And
people seem to respond well to authenticity.
You have to be, and I think it's more just that you're gonna be who you are no matter what you do. At some point, like, there's things you can change, but there's just things about yourself you can't change. There's parts of your personality. There's parts of who you are. You're better off being happy with it and being proud of it and wearing it proudly. I think that's the main idea. It's not just that the idea that be yourself means that there's some cosmic predestined you that's going to come out of that you can't change. I don't think it's that exactly, but that there's parts of you that aren't going to go away and you need to be proud of them.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. So I guess you don't mind talking a little bit about Axe Cop. So
I'll talk about whatever you guys want.
Yeah, well, the thing with that, that's the thing about Axe Cop that fascinates me, because when I looked at the Wikipedia page for it, said this book was started when you were 29 and your little brother was 5 years old.
Correct. I am now 38. Whoo.
Yeah. So there's that much. There's like that 15. Big of an age gap between you guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a long story. You want some of that story?
I have, you don't mind telling it, I guess.
My dad's a very fertile man. So my dad is he was born in 1940. So what's that make him now? Like 70 something? 78, I think. So yeah, my brother's 15 with a 78-year-old dad. So my dad, my mom was his, I think, third or fourth. Long, mysterious past.
Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. Half brother.
Yeah, he's my half brother. Yeah. So my dad had actually like had a vasectomy and like everything. He thought he'd never have a kid again. And when he remarried Dila, my stepmom, who was much younger than him, about 20 years younger than him, but a great match because my dad's always been a very immature guy and he always looked younger than he was. And she was actually the best thing that ever happened to him because she's the first one, he's stuck with her and she's somehow tamed that thing in him that when things would go wrong, he'd just kind of move on to the next town. In my childhood, my dad was homeless. We would spend time living in his van with him. But in his past life before us, like he was a nearly famous opera singer in New York, living in like a mansion with this rich like his rich wife and crazy. He has crazy stories. But anyway, this is his story now. He's the father of the Axe Cop brothers. And saying for him, the weird thing is seeing his son who was a surprise even after, because like they decided they're gonna have kids. He realized his wife was not gonna be happy if she didn't have some kids, and so he got the operation reversed, and they had 2 daughters. And then about 5 or 6 years later, unexpectedly, she got pregnant again, and she was pretty old. Like she was like 40, I think, and that was Malachi. So Malachi's had an interesting upbringing from the beginning. He's the youngest of the youngest of the youngest, so. And the funny thing is I was the oldest, but we just found through ancestry.com a long lost sister who's 10 years older than me, from my dad's crazy days in New York. So
damn, wow.
So there's a whole spread. Yeah.
Oh, hey, there's Tank. How you doing, buddy?
Better, but not entirely.
Tank has due to illness has become South African Batman.
Okay.
Or Darwin reviews.
Well, not really to that point anymore, but it's still pretty bad.
Were you South African before, or just when you get sick?
No, I'm always South African. I'm
Okay.
just sick.
So you get sick, you turn into Batman, basically.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah. So okay, so getting back onto Axe Cop. So what I remember, and this is me going off the Wikipedia page. Malachi came up with the stories, and you're more or less the one who turned them into kind of like made them make a kind of sense, because like, and this is me. I've only seen the cartoon, and just going by that, it doesn't take a genius to figure out. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff a 5-year-old would come up with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's if you ever read, I'm especially really proud of Volume 2 of Axe Cop. Volumes 1 and 2 are my favorite too. I mean, I really am proud of all of them. We did 6 volumes. You can actually, if you go on my website, you can buy all 6 in a package, and I'll do a sketch, and there's a whole thing. I call it the Head Chopper Bundle. So you can buy it directly from me, and I'll sign them all and everything, and throw some other goodies in there. That's the best way to get the books, especially since then you're buying directly from me, and I get the most profit that way. But you also get like kind of a cool package. So if you're ever curious to read the comics, that's the best way to go about it, I'd say. But in Volume 2, there's a section in the back. It's pretty long, and it shows our process, where it starts out where we just get a whole bunch of toys, and sometimes I'll have kind of an initiative for what we're trying to play, like that. You know, if we're trying to like figure out what the bad guys are doing, or if there's a certain point in the story I'm trying to figure out, I'll loosely try to direct playtime if I can, or maybe if I know it's a car chase, I'll have us sit up in the parked car and pretend to be driving or something. But I'll just take notes and record and just play and just go and just create this chaos. And then I'll take all these notes we play, and then I'll lay them all out and figure out where the story is in there. And then I go back to Malachi, and I'll ask him a bunch of questions that I have written out, ready to kind of try to fill in plot holes. And whenever there's an action sequence, I'll make a playtime out of it. And depending on if it's good guys or bad guys, like sometimes I need to figure out just what the bad guy's motivation is, or like how to make the bad guys more threatening. So we'll have to take a day where we pretend to be bad guys for the day. And so like Volume 2 of Axe Cop it's a full story. It's called Bad Guy Earth. It's a 3-issue. You know, before that I was doing all these little short stories, but that was the first time I tried doing a one big long epic story. And I spent an entire month with Malachi writing it. And it was a blast, but it was crazy, and it was also really hard. I mean, it's kind of like, the way I explain it is it's like I'm the guy interviewing a bunch of people who watched a train wreck, and then I'm taking all the information and trying to write the story out. And that's kind of Malachi. It's like he's witnessed all this stuff, and I'm trying to piece it all back together into a coherent plot line. And so that's kind of the interesting part of my job as the Axe Cop guy. So it's definitely not just like getting handed a script and drawing it.
Yeah. Well, like semi-coherent, because like, again, this is only me going up. I'm only going up the cartoon because.
Oh yeah, because
I
just barely coherent.
Because it
has its own logic. That's what's so fun about it.
Yeah, I know. Because I remember like Axe Cop would spray Flute Cop with some kind of blood, and then he'd mutate into like a Bear Flute Cop or something, and then it's just It's like I said, it's wild, it's chaotic, it's crazy. It's the kind of stuff a 5-year-old boy would come up with.
Yep, it is. I think that I had said I'd go to line 30. It's a little past, but I started late. But I forgot that where I'm sitting, it's like right next to the backyard, and I hear the weed eater headed my way. So I think we could either power through the weed eater being really loud, or I could go. It's gonna be like right behind my head pretty soon here.
We're fine with whatever. I'm fine with whatever you want to do. How about you guys?
Shame.
All right.
No, I'm easy. I mean, it's not like.
Avid comic reader in the Ethan. Avid comic reader in the chat is asking, where can you watch Axe Cop right now?
The best place is if you have a Hulu subscription. You can watch them all on Hulu, but you can also, I don't know if there's still a deal, but they used to have a package deal on Vudu, where you could get like both seasons for really cheap. But you can buy them anywhere, like iTunes, Vudu, Amazon.
Is it available on DVD?
No. I would love to make a DVD. One thing you can do if you join my Patreon, if you enjoy the cartoon, is I do commentary episodes where I record my own commentary over each one. So that's one of the things that gets included if you I think if you're at the $5 a month level, you get that as part of it. You can go through all the archives. I think I've done all the episodes by now. I may not have. I may have missed a couple, but yeah. So that's the best way. And then I mean, you might be able to find some on YouTube. I'm not totally sure. I don't really care how you find them because I haven't gotten a royalty check for XCOP in like years now. So.
Whoa! Seriously?
I don't think they're getting enough views for me for it to kick back. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is kind of it is so super out there. It's kind of not that it's not. I guess is it kind of fair to say it's not made for a general audience?
Totally. I was amazed from the beginning that it ever got made. The idea that would become a TV show on Fox, it's so bizarre.
Yeah, I actually remember catching an episode of it. I think it was like the Independence Day episode. Or was it the Independent? All I know is it was Axe Cop telling the story of his ancestor, Book Cop.
Book Cop. It's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, and I was working night shift at Burger King at the time, and we had the TV on, and it was just on the background. Sound wasn't on, but I could see it, and it was just like, and I was just thinking to myself, "Well, what's this?"
Yeah, that episode. The guy that does the voice of Book Cop is Mike from Breaking Bad. So cool. He's hilarious. Jonathan Banks.
Oh, seriously, that was him?
Yeah. I got to meet him too. We did this. There's like this fancy dinner that they put on to celebrate when Axe Cop and the other shows on ADHD launched, and he was at it, and I got to watch that episode with him for the first time that he had seen it. It was pretty fun.
But yeah, I mean, like but yeah, hearing all these stories though, Ethan, it's kind of inspiring. I mean, like you just built basically this little media empire out of just playing with your little brother, and now look where you are now.
Yeah, it's an interesting from this side of it too. I think because I grew up with my perception of what that would look like if something like this happened in my life, and now I'm seeing kind of the reality. It's not that it's bad or like it's just different than what you expect. Like I think that. Like you just have to you're always going to have to be creating and making, and I'm trying harder and making more stuff now than I ever have in my life. And I think I've realized through this is that, I mean, you can't pick your successes. You have no idea what you're going to make and what's going to succeed and what's not. And if you're a creator, you just got to create and just do it because you love it. And you have no idea what's going to happen. And that's kind of where I'm at, and even once it becomes successful, you don't know where that's going to go. Like that part of it, you can't really control. The part you can control is making, just make.
Yeah, we know it. We know a guy who can attest to that last part, don't we?
What's
yeah.
That?
That would be Brian and Trent.
Okay.
Yeah, they let's just say they were seriously not prepared for Rags to get as big as it got.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
no, they were not.
I gotta check this out.
Oh yeah. I would definitely recommend you check it out, Ethan. In fact, like I mean, like I DM'd you I DM'd you their Twitter, so yeah, I would definitely talk to Brian. He's going to be under Rag Zombie. He's the guy I had to talk to about where you can buy it. But like I said, it's kind of inspiring because like Matt, Tank, and I, we're all indie creators ourselves. We've all got our own projects in the works.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think a lot of you guys I found through because I'm good friends with Doug Tenaple.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Doug Tenaple.
He was my best man at my wedding, so.
Huh. Oh wow.
Very good friends. We go way back.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, but
way before Axe Cop too. Doug was like mentoring me, and yeah, it's just funny that I knew Doug, and we were well before Axe Cop. In fact, I was sitting at his house watching the State of the Union address the night that Axe Cop went viral. Like I remember sitting there, my phone started going crazy, and yeah, and I remember being ashamed because like. We were both talking about our projects that we're working on. I was talking about Bearmageddon. I never even told him that I had made Axe Cop, really. Like, I'd kind of mentioned it in passing, but, like, I was kind of ashamed that I had, like, done this other comic when I was supposed to be committed to getting this one done. And we always kind of, like, held each other accountable to, like I had said on the 1st of January, I'm gonna work on this comic, Bearmageddon. I'm gonna launch it. I'm gonna start cranking out pages, and then I kind of did this side thing with Axe Cop because I was mainly just goofing off with the idea of making a webcomic and what would that entail and what could go wrong and work out the kinks. And so the Axe Cop site was supposed to be kind of just a trial run of a webcomic that nobody would really read, and then I would move on and make the Bearmageddon website. And then so we put this half-assed website up, axecop.com, and it went viral. And it was like Entertainment Weekly's website of the day the next day. It was just full of these comments like, what is this crap website?
Do you remember, can you place the time period this happened in?
It was it was right towards the end of January 2010, I think.
Oh, so this like wasn't back in the early days of webcomics, because
webcomics had been out for a while.
Yeah, because this wasn't like around the same time when things like Penny Arcade were big.
No, they'd been out for a while. I think Axe Cop may have been the first webcomic property to actually be made into a mainstream thing, to become a TV show or something like that. I could be wrong. There might have been Right Spot before, but I had been told by people, but I don't know if I don't keep very well track, but I hadn't heard of it. It was kind of amazing at the time. It was crazy. Dr. McNinja was very popular at the time, and we did a crossover that was really successful. But yeah, I was like, I knew that I grew up on indie comics. I never really read superhero comics or mainstream comics. I always liked indie comics. That's why I go way back on being an Ethan Van Sciver fan. Because I remember buying issue 1 of Cyberfrog right off the rack when it was new, black and white.
Wow.
In my hometown. I remember because I always frequented the indie section, and I was a diehard Ninja Turtle fan. It was actually Mirage Ninja Turtle comics that turned me on to indie comics. And I loved black and white comics. I preferred them over color comics, and the Ninja Turtle-esque nature of Cyberfrog plus the black and white art, plus the really good art, made me really want to. I loved it. It was my favorite books in high school. But I forgot where. Oh yeah, so I kind of realized that webcomics were becoming the modern day indie comics. Like, there was no spot in the store for indie comics anymore that weren't like weird stoner comics, I guess. But like,
yeah, well, I definitely would say the indie market has managed to find a new life on the internet. That goes without saying.
I think especially right now with with all the Indiegogo campaigns and stuff, I think it's great. Especially that I think that with webcomics, I think a lot of webcomic artists, even I've met a lot of the really successful ones, and a lot of them, it's still a mystery how you really make a living on it. And I mean, some have made money, but like it's not consistent, or it's like it's really hard. Everyone's just kind of trying to figure out and experiment, and there's just a few who figured it out. But even with me, you think that with 6 volumes of a Dark Horse comic and a TV show and stuff like that, like, yeah, I made money, but like it wasn't life-changing money, and the money's been gone for a while now, and like it's not. I think that from the other side of it, when you're just making a free webcomic and nothing's happening, you look at that and you think, holy cow, they haven't made. And like, in a lot of ways, there's so many things I would be thankful for, but like the reality is like free content online is still free content online, even if millions of people are looking at it, unless you're very smart about how you monetize it, which I was not. So
yeah, you probably should have tried getting in touch with the Penny Arcade guys, because those guys.
Well, I think I heard that they partnered up with like a guy who majored in like business or marketing or something like that. I thought that was on one of their documentaries. I had a friend, but that's definitely smart.
Yeah, I mean, like,
more artists should team up with business people.
Yeah, I mean, those guys got so big, they managed to build a whole convention out of it.
Massive, yeah. I can't even understand it. Yeah, it's crazy. And I think it is the culture. Like, they built this because it's the video game, the gamer culture. They were able to bring a bunch of people together. And I think it is kind of like, a lot of these things that get that big, I think that they tapped into a thing that at that time was really needed, and they were the ones who happened to create that.
Right place, right time, and all that.
Right place, right time. And I think I'm one of those too. I think I think that entertainment in our culture had like hit this point where it was taking itself way too seriously, and there was this need for something that just showed and proved and like made the point that entertainment, movies, comics, like we do this. This is adult playtime. We're trying to have a blast. Like that's the whole point. Nothing else. Like stop trying to make everything Generation X-y, super realistic, and and I think that lots of people could make a comic with their kid. I think that there's the right content at the right time. I think that Axe Cop just happened to, work. It spoke to people in a way that I think maybe at a different, 10 years before or after might not have spoken the way it did at that time.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, like, you can definitely see that this new wave of indie comics coming out. There's definitely feeling a need because you got like these mainstream. Marvel's mainly guilty of this. Mm-hmm. DC to a lesser extent. That there's all this these quote unquote woke comics, I guess, for lack of a better term.
That the problem is the characters don't progress. There's no growth on them. Every time they try to bring in a major changing event, everything just resets back to normal and everything's back to the way it was. The characters are essentially the same as they were 70 odd years ago.
Yeah, and I don't follow mainstream comics, but I do think that I mean, I'm in the industry, so I know that there's just the attitude in the industry is super partisan. And then, but also just the oversaturation. It's kind of like what's happening with Star Wars too. I think there's going to be a backlash. Like Marvel,
there's already one.
Yeah, it's already hitting, but like Marvel and Star Wars, everything Disney bought, I guess. But the oversaturation is insane, and people are just getting sick of it. I think people are at some point are going to go. They're throwing the exact same characters at us over and over again because they know that we'll just, like dogs, keep snatching it out of the air and just eating the same little sausages. And I think that there's going to be an indie backlash. That's my hope. Is that there's going to be a new crop of new characters, and people are going to realize that they're tired of the recycled heroes that they keep getting.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like I said, we're already seeing that happen. I mean, we got all the different indie campaigns that went up, and again, you've got Rags, which has just become an indie darling, and you got guys like us who are like Matt and I. We're like Matt and I, along with our mutual friend Dan Sakaro, whose channel we're using. We're actually building together our own little shared universe. Tank has a sci-fi novel series he's working on that how much. It's like almost finished, isn't it, man?
It's finished. I'm now in the process of expanding the various parts because it was originally written in short story format. So a lot of description to the environments and a lot of things, it's pretty Spartan. So I'm working on expanding that. And then once that's done, based on cultural things like writing first person and present tense, a second person present tense needs to be changed out.
Yeah, that was a thing we found out hanging out with Tank, was that apparently South Africa writes all its stories in the second person.
Greater majority of our fiction is written like that. Yes.
Huh. That's interesting. Because I actually do need to go now. I forgot I have a meeting coming up at 10, so I got like 2 minutes.
Well, thanks for showing up, and giving us the time of day, Ethan. And we wish you nothing but success with Bearmageddon. And if you ever like to hang out with us again, just hit us up.
Cool. Yeah, keep in touch, and I got you guys followed on Twitter now. So yeah, thanks for having me on. And I sent you a link there in the Hangouts thing. If you can share that for me, that's the link to find out more about my Bears Want to Kill You book.
Yeah, I think Matt, you just linked that in the chat, didn't you?
Cool. All right. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
All right.
You're
bye,
welcome.
guys.
Have an awesome day.
Thank you very much.
You too. Have a good one.
Yeah. You too.
All right. Bye, Ethan. All right. I guess we'll just keep going for the rest of it.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Still not 100%.
It's all right.
Well, if anything, like I said, you now sound like you have a really badass voice.
Yeah, not by choice though.
Oh. And now it's gone to silence.
Yeah, okay.
Hey.
I'm sorry. I scared everybody away.
You're probably scared the Penguin and the Joker.
Well, probably, but who knows?
You know, I have to kind of wonder what would South African Batman look like.
Black.
That's racist. No, I honestly don't know. I've never really thought about what a South African superhero would look like. I mean, we make jokes about everything. I mean, so if you take one of our worst towns that we got, it's called Boksburg. So the whole idea is we've got this joke meme running around of Batman sitting in a bar taking tequila shots. I will save any town, any place, any time, except Boksburg. Fuck that place.
Is it really that bad?
Let me put it this way. If you drive at 20 kilometers an hour, they will steal the wheels off your car.
Damn. So, yeah, I mean, like, I've heard bad things about Johannesburg, but dude.
Johannesburg, you only hear about because it's one of our major cities.
You know, I have a feeling that if there was a South African Batman, he'd probably be as ineffective as the South African Navy and the police force.
Pretty much. I mean, our police force is asleep in the police stations. They get robbed. They require armed private security to keep them safe in the police station.
Yeah, dude, I'm surprised you don't have the country under martial law yet.
What? With our military that can't even keep how many planes? We've got something like 7 Gripens, and we can't even keep 2 airworthy.
Jeez.
Just to put it in perspective, our entire Navy consists of around 5,000 personnel, right? That is the crew complement of a single Nimitz-class supercarrier. Our entire Navy can crew one of your carriers, guys.
Yeah, it's wow.
Yeah, but how do I put this? What was that meme you once shared with me? Who would win? It
was pretty much what it was like back in the 80s. Who would win? The entirety of the Angolan military, funded, trained, equipped by the Soviets, all that stuff. Some pale boys in an armored car.
And back when you guys had a much more aesthetically pleasing flag, too.
Well, at this point in time, we got somebody's dirty panty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like
that is literally the running joke that our current country flag has had numerous times over.
Well, that's from what you told us.
You've probably not heard any of them, but there is a lot of jokes. Most of them would be construed as racist, so I'm not even going to go there lest we get this channel a strike.
Yeah, we don't want to do that to Dan. We've already...
You already killed your own channel.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, not killed, but almost.
I mean,
yeah.
At least we're not talking about parody songs.
How do you get a strike for that?
That is something I'm still trying to figure out.
I even checked the email. It doesn't even, I thought it was hate speech initially. I checked the email that YouTube sent me. It doesn't even specify what it gets struck for. Just says this video got a strike on it.
Our parody songs.
We're assholes.
Are parody songs hate crimes now?
I don't know. I mean, if that's the case, then why does Rucka Ali still have his channel up?
Because he completely changes them up. What did you guys discuss? Do you still have that video? You might want to have to go rewatch that.
Maybe. I mean, I think maybe. I might have the video file still on my computer somewhere. I might I'll have to dig it up.
Because I think there's something in there. Because remember, if it was either was false flagged or was algorithm based, if it's algorithm based, it was something that was mentioned offhand that you guys missed. I don't know. It's crazy how these algorithms work.
I don't know. Still, though, the timing on that thing was just weird because that happened in the middle of us doing the stream for the Wikid podcast on my channel.
Yeah, that
now
may,
some people.
Yeah.
That points to.
I don't think so. I think that was just
flag.
I don't know, because if it was trying to go after Wikid or anyone, that didn't make any sense to do that.
Or maybe it was just somebody that you made very angry.
Who knows? Like it's a mystery at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's a lot of things that are currently a mystery to me. I actually want to share something with you guys. So, we're all about horrible takes sometimes on Slack, just looking at some very horrendous takes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I want to share something with you guys that is a horrendous take from our own mainstream media.
Oh, this should be good.
Oh, you have no idea. I mean, mainstream media is all about grabbing hot takes and running with them, fun times, all that good stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Anything to get a good virtue signal out. So check that out.
Oh, hell no, let's see. Let's see what you want. Let's see what kind of piping hot take this is.
What?
Depression's not a white disease.
Yeah, they literally
shit, it's not.
They literally construe a mental illness as, because this is our own mainstream media here from South Africa, they connect a mental illness to how it was previously only described as only whites can have it according to them. They could have just gone with something like mental issues bad, seek professional help. No, let's virtue signal about it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, how crazy it is.
Do I have to be the person to tell? Do I have to be the person to point out that depression can get anybody, no matter what the color of their skin is?
Oh, if you think that's funny, wait till you see this next one.
Oh God.
Oh yes, this is fun. There was an actual fist fight in our parliament today.
Oh, so
wait, a fist fight in Parliament.
Yeah,
Yes.
that happens. I mean, it's happened in South Korea where their lawmakers just got a giant fist fight.
Not gonna lie, I actually kind of like that.
But this has to do with so recently, a lot of the guys from the ANC have been implicated in the VBS bank scandal. Basically, it's a bank that was started up to provide people with money so they can, basically do what they needed to do. But as it turns out, a lot of the bigwigs in the ANC took this money. And I'm not even going to use allegedly because there's proof and everything against this now. I mean, this has already gone to court, where these guys have used money to essentially pay off the debt that our former president, Jay Zuma, has to pay off, which he never paid off.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's real fun stuff. I mean, you guys want to see what would happen? I'm not going to go too political, but if you want to see what would happen in any country where these Marxists take hold, just look at our country. You'll have a good idea.
No, we've already seen how that turns out. I mean, just got to look at Soviet Union, People's Republic of China, Vietnam, North Korea, Cambodia under the Khmer Rouge.
Yes, but here's the thing. What the difference is there is most of those countries were not well run to start with. Things were already pretty bad. There wasn't a lot of good infrastructure, and then they just went from bad to worse.
So they were just doomed to fail.
Unfortunately, now you take a country that was successful, regardless, unfortunately, of how the previous government ran things, which I still don't agree with in some respects. Now you take that, you have a country that performed the first heart transplant in the world, and now you look where we are.
Yep. So,
But
I mean, we're
enough
also
of that.
to be honest, we're already kind of seeing some of that out in Europe, but we don't need to get it. But we don't need to go into too much detail there.
California.
California, over alles. California, over alles.
Yeah. Anyways. So,
Fuck.
what else?
Speaking
fun?
Oh, man, I just remembered something. I wanted to open this episode with Ethan because I told Matt over Twitter that I made this happen because I'm magic, and I was gonna sing the chorus from this one B.O.B. song that Rivers Cuomo was on.
And you forgot.
It's not that I forgot it. I just didn't get a chance to do it.
Well, you could have just sung it as soon as it opened.
Yeah, true. Yeah, got the magic in me. Every time I touch that track, it turns to gold. I've got the magic, magic. Oh, I got the magic in me. Cannot hit the high notes, unfortunately.
Well, neither can I. Nor do I sing or play any sort of musical instrument because I'm tone deaf.
I'm just gonna say that we should probably take this off stream and then edit it so that we can actually make it seem like you remembered to sing it.
Well, technically, I did remember to sing it. I just did.
But
at the wrong time.
Okay, do you want to know what one of the funniest memes is to go around every time there's an election? There's all because I'm looking at one right now. It's a meme of who controls the House. Blue for Democrat controlled seats, red for Republican controlled seats, yellow for Jeb controlled seats, and all the seats are yellow. And it's got Jeb Bush doing that pose.
Well, if he's in control of everything, why isn't he president?
Low energy Jeb. I can't believe that was all it took to get him to knock him out of the race was to call him low energy Jeb.
You know, I'm glad
that means one thing. He was probably not a good candidate to start with.
No, I'm glad that it didn't turn out to be Bush versus Clinton round 2.
Yeah,
that would have been funny.
Well, yeah, definitely. Just like they were counting on Jeb, but unfortunately, like they said, like one of the big weaknesses he had was he didn't have W's folksy charm, quote unquote, or seniors, quote unquote, naval swagger.
Basically, he was just there.
Doesn't really matter at the end of the day. He didn't win, thank goodness.
Yeah, but still, man, it's just kind of interesting how it can take a simple thing like that to basically kill a politician's career.
Well, I have seen a lot of funny takes on that side. I mean, the fact that one of your candidates had to refer to and go to dick jokes to try and get a jab in at a candidate.
True. But it's like there was like this one guy. It's just like there was another guy out in the UK. Like he was I think he was running for prime minister or something. And his campaign was torpedoed with a simple photo of him eating a sandwich.
Was it a bacon sandwich?
I do not recall what kind of sandwich. All I know is it was just that picture of him eating that sandwich, and his campaign was just sinking beneath the water.
Oh my goodness!
Well, Howard
I'm,
Dean
I'm gonna.
sunk when he had that little yeah.
What? Oh, yeah, him.
Okay, I'm going to move this away from politics. I'm actually going to look at this now. So we all know that Blizzard recently had a nice little fumble with their Diablo reveal.
Yes, they did.
They made EA look good for once.
Well, here's the one thing. I actually have my own little moment of exceeding joy with that because I'm 5 years and still no answer from them as to why my account got shit canned with a blanket ban. StarCraft 2. And them taking a stock knock actually gives me a nice moment of I don't know. You use the word a lot,
Schadenfreude.
but I can't- Yes, that one right there. I have that right now because screw those people.
Hey, you want to hear something even that's probably even worse?
What?
I got banned from World of Warcraft because I didn't pay for an expansion that they tried to say that I bought and it was in my cart.
The fuck?
So when the payment didn't go through, they banned me.
Yeah, well, looks like we're all having some moments of peace here with that.
Are you guys? You guys aren't going to hold it against me that I'm genuinely looking forward to the remaster of Warcraft 3, right?
No.
No, I'm actually not. I don't hold it against anybody if they're looking forward to something. I only hold it against them if they play mobile games. Maybe then I don't really care.
For me, it's more of don't be an asshole about it.
No, well, I'm looking forward to it because I'm not lying. That's legit my favorite game of all time. I've played that game religiously since I was 15 years old. It was one of the best Christmas presents I ever got.
I'm going to show my age here. I remember while I was still in primary school playing the demo for the original Red Alert to death.
Oh man, did you know that they put Command and Conquer Red Alert up for freeware?
Yeah,
dude. Yes, I know. You should actually look up the OpenRA project, which is very nice because it's freeware. It gives it a nice little engine overall, so it works better on modern PCs, and it actually looks great. Still plays fun. You get the whole campaign, everything. The only thing you don't get, obviously, are the cinematics and the music.
You gotta DM me a link to that because I want to see that. That sounds awesome.
For a while,
right now.
For a while, they had MechWarrior 4 Mercenaries and Mech Commander as freeware. Unfortunately, those got taken down after the licenses switched to companies.
Yeah, well, I tried it. I couldn't get it to. I tried downloading MechWarrior 4 when it was freeware, and I could not for the life of me get it to work.
You know,
I have a retail copy.
Well, they had some issues with those games. I remember having the same problem with Mech Commander 2.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like I legit mean this because had it not been for Warcraft 3, I probably would not have gotten into strategy games as much as I did. It's now because of Warcraft 3, I like playing games like Command and Conquer, Red Alert, and now I want to play Dawn of War.
That is a good title. Wait for the Steam specials. I will sing that game's praises all the way. It is probably one of the best strategy games I've played, and the nice thing about it is it's Warhammer. It's 40k.
Yeah.
Homeworld's the best fleet-based RTS for the fact that it's a game that hasn't been made yet as such, where it's you're fighting with ships in a 3D battleground.
Well, yeah, it's about as I think I said, like Homeworld's about as close as you could get to playing a good Battlestar Galactica game.
which there's a mod for it.
There has, of course,
Yeah,
it has a
there's a mod for it.
Battlestar Galactica mod.
One of the other nice games to play as well, I don't know if you've ever tried it, it's called Nexus the Jupiter Incident. It's still a strategy game, but it focuses more on ship management than it does on the overall managing a fleet. So if you want to get that whole nice angle of managing a single ship properly, that's also a nice one to play.
I guess while we're talking strategy games, does anyone here done XCOM or Civilization?
I have played the original XCOM. I own them all on Steam, and I've also played, and I actually, while those were nice, a lot of purists will probably crucify me for saying this, but I prefer the reboot.
Really? The one, was this the one where Spoonie was a complete spurg and said, "Betrayal!"
Oh, yeah.
Fuck Spoonie.
Yep. I think we all know why he's a terrible content creator right now.
Yeah. Fuck that.
I only know of him because I watched the videos from Mr. Medica.
For a while.
Yeah, but so yeah, that's the one where he just completely spurred out and yelled betrayal.
Yep.
Yes, that's that one. XCOM Enemy Unknown from 2013. Or Enemy Unknown Within was the expansion. That one.
Okay, so you actually thought that was a good game, though.
It is a good game. It is a very good game. It is a very fun game. And when you play it on the hardest difficulty, Iron Man mode, it will make you fucking cry. It is not your friend. It is not at all a game that most modern gamers will ever love or like, because it will destroy your dreams.
Wow.
No. That's the thing about these XCOM games. You build your squad, you customize how they look, you give them unique names and all that stuff. And then when they die, they're dead. There's no coming back.
Yeah. Kind of like Fire Emblem.
So yeah, it's like, but I will definitely recommend it. If it's on sale, come Steam sales this Christmas period, get it. I'm personally hoping to pick up XCOM 2.
Mm-hmm. Now how about like Civilization?
Never played.
Oh, that was my game.
You played Civilization, Matt.
Yep. I started with the original game when there was this bottle pack with Alpha Centauri. But yeah, it's a fun game series, especially when you have the special units that are overpowered for their era.
Damn.
And then when you leave that era, they're just basically, it's kind of like how Blizzard does things. You have them powerful for the era, and then when the new era comes up, they're nerfed.
Fun times.
Yep.
No, my favorite game will always be, if it comes to strategy games, it's going to be Command & Conquer. That was my introduction to strategy games. I started with the original Red Alert, but then when Tiberian Sun launched, that's probably my favorite in the series. I don't know, it's just the whole aesthetic of the combat walkers, like the Wolverine and the Titan, and finally the Mammoth Mark II at the end. It's all just, it looks great, and it's a fun title. And while I know if EA does do a remaster, they'll probably fuck it up somehow, but
yeah,
I can hope that all they do is take the game, slap it in a brand new graphics engine, update it for modern computers, and go from there. And they would win. They would literally win over so many people who would buy that, but we all know that that's not going to work. They'll probably try to find some way to ham-fist some sort of microtransaction in there somewhere.
Kind of like what they did with the last new Wing Commander game, which is basically a multiplayer third-person view game.
Yeah, I saw that. No comment.
Yeah.
Wing Commander is one of those games I want to play, but I haven't gotten around to, because what the first video game I ever played was Star Wars Starfighter on the original Xbox, and it was kind of like my introduction to spaceflight sims.
Yeah, even then, it's just an arcade one, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's great.
No,
I'm
no,
not
I mean,
gonna say it's a
like,
great
I'm
one,
not
but
judging.
it's like an introduction to the genre. It's good.
I can point you at some good titles if you want to try them out, if you can find them. Although the one I'm going to recommend you can find right now on goodoldgames.com, gog.com, Free Space 2.
Oh yeah. Well,
Free Space 2 is probably one of the best space combat titles out there, mainly due to the story and everything else. It's very well done. And updated, I'll share the link for it. Modding community, because it's openware, freeware, open source.
Oh, cool.
It updates it to nice modern graphics and everything.
So
Yes, Matt.
oh yeah. Going back to the Wing Commander part, the funny thing about the third game was that you could subtitle it "Mark Hamill blows up a planet this time."
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, you could. You could actually do that. Because that is exactly what he did.
Yep. Not a moon, moon space station, but a full planet.
A fucking planet.
Okay, that is actually pretty fucking dope.
And it's a fun game. I believe you could get it on EA Origin as well.
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah, I'm not signing up for EA Origin.
But you can buy it at GOG.com with a bunch of nice extras, such as the script and the Wing Commander Bible.
Damn, that's actually pretty cool.
Speaking of Wing Commander, another nice space sim they made by the same guys. Unfortunately, I don't know if you can find it anywhere, because you'll probably have to, unfortunately, go through some different methods. Star Lancer, actually.
Oh yeah, Star Lancer.
The prequel to yes, that is a game I wish actually had a proper sequel, not this pseudo sequel they made with Freelancer, because I don't know, Freelancer was crap. I don't care who enjoyed that game. I'm just going to come out and say it. I played it to death. Yes, I did. But it's not fun. If it's compared to the game that came before, it is not great at all.
Yeah, it seems like he's got some issues with publishers doing whatever they feel like doing.
Okay.
Which is probably
why. Oh, guys, I just checked the chat, and Avid's asking if we're reading it at all. Sorry, we're not. We're just kind of. We're not ignoring we're not trying to ignore the chat, Avid. We're just really into our conversation right now. Sorry.
Sorry, Avid. What did he have a question?
It's just. It's more like it's not exactly questions. It's just more like they're just commenting on it. Like going back up. Avid says Warcraft 3 is dope. Mike Whitaker says Warcraft 3 was the last Blizzard game I played, I think. Into the Breach is a very decent strategy RPG. Avid also brings up that Mountain Blade 2 is fun. XCOM is great. Mike Whitaker says I might get Civ 5 on Switch. Avid again says Civilization Revolutions was dope. Mike Whitaker says not a PC guy, sorry to say. Avid says XCOM remake is really good. Playing on Iron Man mode will crush your soul, so I guess he agrees with you, Tank.
Yes, it does. No, dude, it's literally because you have no saves.
Yeah.
As far as I can remember. Or you have
Mike Whitaker says the only game I play that's close to XCOM is Mario plus Rabbids. Now Avid says Tiberian Sun was the best. I love the commando levels.
Yeah, okay, so the reason is XCOM is great turn-based if you want to go real-time Command and Conquer Tiberian Sun. it's a taste thing at the end of the day, and the whole thing that like I said, why I like Tiberian Sun so much is the aesthetic about it all.
Oh yeah.
That said, Command and Conquer 3 before the Kane's Wrath expansion, that was great. I like that as well. The way the whole thing lost me, however, Command and Conquer lost me, was the abomination that was Tiberian Twilight.
And that was when they started losing the plot.
Mm-hmm. Okay, after
I'm also not a big fan of Red Alert 3.
Okay, is that's the one with Ric Flair in it, isn't it?
That was the expansion that had Ric Flair in it. My problem with Red Alert 3 is even it was cheesy and all that stuff in terms of how it looked. It worked because it was still kind of believable, because you could see these things being developed, the tanks and everything. My is the weeb angle they took with the Empire of the Rising Sun, that they added as a third faction.
Yeah. Okay. Continuing with the chat, Avid says Spaceflight Sims Privateer.
Yep.
Heard of it, never played it. Still looking for a method to get it working on Windows 10.
Free Space 2 is good. Tachyon the Fringe with Bruce Campbell was dope too.
Oh, I forgot about that. And there is currently a project to get that running perfectly on modern systems as well. I need to replay that.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we're. So yeah, I guess we're caught up to the chat. Maybe we should might be a good idea if we just dedicate a space in the on the stream where we just periodically check the chat just to see what's going on in it.
Yeah, I think we should do that. Ask me anything? No, please not. No.
We're not as drunk. We're not as drunk as Cody when he's doing them.
Yeah, no, but I'll only be doing sober AMAs anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. Still, though, I mean, when Cody's drunk and does AMAs, it's just. I think I might have tried asking him the boxers or briefs question.
And I nearly tripped him up with one, but I decided against it because I'm not that big of an arsehole.
Oh, here's something cool. Ori just posted another 40K one, another 40K pack. I think you are gonna appreciate this tank.
No, I always appreciate the stuff this man does. He's very flipping talented.
I don't know
that
looks
commission
like.
is doing.
What were you gonna say?
No, that commission is doing. It's a Ultra Smurf Primaris Marine that's getting itself eviscerated by a Corn Berserker.
Huh? So Corn Berserker is a werewolf.
Well, in this case, a werebear.
Wait, that's a bear?
Yep, that's a bear.
Yep.
Look at who's doing the commission for.
That's right. All the werewolves are in the Space Wolves.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's another thing though. If the Space Wolves have werewolves, guess who has vampires?
The
Blood Angels. Yeah, it's the Blood Angels because there's a flaw in their gene seed that gives them something known as the Red Thirst.
And there's also the Black Rage, which goes with that.
Yeah. So yeah, Matt. Here's the thing with the Blood Angels. The Red Thirst is due to a flaw in their gene seed that makes them actually thirst for blood.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Black Rage comes from the fact that their Primarch Sanguinius was killed by Horus during the Horus Heresy, and it'll cause them to have flashbacks of Sanguinius's last moments, and the Blood Angel will, for however long he's under the Black Rage, he will believe he's Sanguinius.
Until either he snaps out of it or he gets killed.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing.
And only one has thus far managed to break free. The current, I believe, is either the chapter master or the head chaplain.
Actually,
Mephiston.
isn't it? Actually, if a Blood Angel succumbs to the Black Rage, isn't he put in the Black Company?
He is put in. Can't recall the name correctly right now, but he is put in a special division that is led by the chaplains of the chapter, and they remain there either until they are like I said, killed, or somehow manage to break out of it.
Yeah. Like there's a lot. No, that's a thing. Like a lot of the Space Marine chapters all have things that are wrong with their gene seed. Like the Space Wolves have something in it, have something in their gene seed that can transform them into werewolves. Basically, I mean they're called Wolfen, but it's kind of like a crapshoot. Like it could happen to one of their initiates, it might not.
The other one, if I recall correctly, so for my personal favorite chapter, the Blood Ravens, they cannot go into REM sleep. So they literally cannot dream. So they don't get a proper night's rest. But this mutation also allows them to have perfect recall.
Huh. Yeah. There's also the crap. What else? There's another. You got the salamanders up. I don't know if this is a flaw in their gene seed though, because like after they get the gene seed implanted in them, their skin turns like pitch black and takes on the texture of coal, and their eyes start glowing red.
Yeah, that's to do with one of the mutations that's meant to provide them with protection against radiation.
Yeah, it's because of Nocturne's harsh environment,
and that's the flaw in their gene seed. What's the other one that I can recall right now?
The Raven Guard, their skin turns pale and their eyes are pitch black.
Yep. You've got so much stuff from 40K to go through. It's not even funny.
Yeah, and there's also supposedly a flaw within the White Scar's gene seed called what was it called? Like it's something savage. I know that much. For some reason, it's kind of like a berserker rage the White Scars can succumb to.
Gee, how fun is that? I think the only guys that are not completely screwed over, except for the power of being absolutely boring, are the Ultra Smurfs.
I'm pretty sure the Dark Angels don't really have a flaw in their gene seed. At least not one that I know of.
Well, not one that was published just yet.
And I don't think the Imperial Fists have a flaw in their gene seed either.
No. Yeah. Can't recall right now.
Yeah. The Ultramarines, the Imperial Fist, the Dark Angels. Yeah, I don't think they had any. The Thousand Sons really got screwed with their gene seed. So much so that Magnus had to turn to Zeech to fix it.
Which didn't fix it.
Not really.
Because let's be perfectly honest. Rubric Marines are not exactly a fix.
Nope. Look at the chat. Mike Whitaker says, I only played Space Hulk when it comes to 40K. Avid says there are no flaws in the God Emperor's genes. Yeah, that's why the Grey Knights are the best chapter.
And they are also the most ignored chapter for that matter. I mean, you already had super soldiers or super soldiers in the form of the Grey Knights, but here comes Games Workshop. No, let's make even more super soldiers in the form of the Primaris. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like I could say though, being being so full of yourself that you say, "Do not worship me like a god, but you should treat me like one anyway." I call that a flaw in the Emperor's gene seed.
Yeah, that'd be
Except
pretty.
that's nobody wants it.
Although that's like one of the funniest. That's like one of the funniest things about like text to speech device that I like is that. I mean, I know it's a parody series, but it does actually point out. It's actually good at pointing out like a lot of things that if you get right down to it, are really wrong with the Emperor. Like,
Who wants another hot take?
oh boy, let's see.
Oh Lord.
Trans woman hosed down with fire truck for impurity cleansing by authorities in Indonesia.
Huh.
It rubs the lotion on the skin or else it gets the hose again. What will happen?
I don't know about that. I don't know. It's funny because inside browser and I just get the news article ticker here. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It says what will happen.
Hey!
It says what will happen to the Empire. It's not the Empire, it's the Imperium. When the Emperor does die, is he the only one keeping interstellar travel possible? Yeah, he's powering the Astronomicon.
You know, that's the one thing that I don't think, because here's the whole thing that could happen, could not happen. So, I mean, there's plenty of theories running around with that. So he dies, interstellar travel fails. However, there is the theory that, I mean, let's just look at the evidence for this. He could very well ascend and become one of the latest chaos gods, because he's already halfway there, because you've already got his demons, as it were, in the form of the living saints and the lost and the damned that appear at random and help out.
Yeah.
So obviously, if his mortal body dies, it therefore stands to reason that it releases whatever psychic energy remains, and he'll have more ability out there. But here's the other side of it. He is a perpetual. So what if, crazy theory, the Golden Throne is actually keeping him in a state of limbo, preventing him from healing correctly?
That is that's possible, and that is possible. So, because how many Vulcans are perpetual, and how many times has he died and come back? Like, he was practically vaporized in a reactor explosion when he was fighting the Beast, and he still came back to life.
Precisely. So why not the same for the Emperor? I mean, literally at this point in time, I think, based on what has been revealed in the lore about perpetuals and everything, I think at this point in time, all they need to actually get the Emperor back is a powerful enough psychic to make the bait and switch on the Golden Throne to keep the Astronomicon running.
The problem was the only psyker who could have done that was Magnus. And Magnus went demon.
Yep.
And good luck getting and I doubt even if Magnus was to come back over to the Emperor, I doubt the Golden Throne could handle him. Or he could handle the Golden Throne, because God knows how that would react to having a demon prince on it.
Yeah, well, who knows? All we can say is at this point in time, it's got you got to hope that Matt Ward doesn't do too much.
Well, like I said, Matt Ward is not at Games Workshop at the moment. He is on a sabbatical writing novels.
Is that what he calls it now?
But what novels?
All I know is they're not 40K related, because if they were, like I said, he would still be involved with Games Workshop in some capacity.
Yeah.
I think they are his own. I think it's safe to say they're his own original creations.
Well, that's a relative term. Safe.
Yeah. What's going on here?
Yeah, so what you don't you don't think that? Well, I guess we'll find out how if they're supposed to be original. I guess we'll find out. Maybe Matt Ward does better when he makes his own stuff.
Honestly,
Maybe.
as long as you're only safe if they confirm it to be original.
Hey, look at this. Next TV series to get screwed up by Netflix.
Oh God.
Take some bets.
Daredevil.
No.
Then I'm at a loss because I don't know.
This is a brand new one.
Oh boy.
Obviously. Swamp Thing.
Oh God.
Oh my God. This will suck. Hey, Avid's asking, do you have any favorite videos to explain the 40K books?
I have not read any. Everything I know from reading up on all the various wikis and watching hours upon hours of videos on YouTube.
Avid, if you want
the Horus Heresy series is good to go.
Yeah. Avid, I guess we could probably recommend channels. Avid, I would recommend you start watching If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device. That's actually that's basically the Cliff Notes version of the lore in a way, even though it's a parody series primarily. But as far as for more in-depth, Tank, what would you recommend?
Well, the channel you shared with me the other day was a good one. You can also watch 40K. Yes, Luton, 40K Theories, and Arch Warhammer.
Yeah.
Those are
the best ones. Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much that. Oh yeah. What else? What else is here? Looking for something funny to talk about.
Don't want. I guess not to toot my own horn too much, but yeah, it's my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Yeah.
Where's the cake?
Yeah, after this stream, my brother and I are gonna go hit up a buffet for lunch, and we'll probably get cake then.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Very nice, man. Very nice.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. Here's where it goes. I'm on Twitter. Brian is saying I was gonna go vote, but then I got high. Trent is saying, "Fuck you, go vote." I'm gonna tell Trent I'm too busy celebrating my birthday to go vote.
Ooh.
Well, you should go vote. Otherwise, you have no.
Well, I can't.
Shit don't go right.
Well, I can't really vote right now because because Washington isn't in the midterms right now.
Oh, shit. Yeah, fun times.
Yeah, none of our seats are up. Yeah, none of our seats are up right now.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yep.
I'm gonna love how Trent reacts to that.
I saw it. Mine's tomorrow. Go vote.
My state seat isn't up.
Can you guys hear that?
Hear what?
Yeah.
Okay, thank goodness you can't hear that because, like I was saying, you moan about your white trash neighbors and the chickens. If you just heard that, you would have heard some peacocks going crazy.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we live close to a bird park. And you would think that it's because it's nearly 9 at night, the birds would be quiet.
Nope.
No. No. Peacocks make a hellacious noise. They are some of the noisiest birds that you will ever hear, and they will fucking go at it even 3 in the morning.
Oh God.
Yes.
That sucks.
Yeah, well, I'll sleep through an earthquake.
Well, you have to, from what I've been hearing on your side.
Well, yeah, where I'm staying, it's relatively calm. It's just when the shit does happen, it does happen quite rough. But for the most part, it doesn't happen too bad.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't live in Joburg.
And Trent just replied with an office with an office gif. After I told him my state seat wasn't up for election.
I'm screwed no matter who I vote for, so...
Is there not an independent guy you could vote for?
There's it's the midterms, and it's dealing with the Senate. There's almost nobody independent wins the Senate.
Our elections are run quite differently. So we have our general elections next year, which are also for the municipal elections. No, sorry. So it's next year is for the overall general election for the country and for the provinces, and then a little bit later on we'll have the municipal elections. So next year we'll vote for which party should run the country, and which party should run the province.
Interesting. So yeah, I guess the best way we put it is like we've got like several different elections that could happen in like a state alone. Like there's the governor election, there's the Senate and House and representative elections. Like, and that's not even including the ones at the state level. God, it's amazing how anyone keeps those straight in their head.
But the thing that makes it quite interesting is because the fact that you guys vote per candidate.
Yeah.
We vote for the party, and then the party decides who they put in power.
Yeah, that's honestly kind of a really crappy system, if you ask me.
Yes, it is. Because that is how we ended up with how we are. So while the party might overall be the good choice, the candidate they put forward in the end to run everything might be a shit choice.
Yeah. Which means you're screwed no matter who you vote for.
Although if you're dependent on the state, you can be completely screwed because like out in Washington, if you can't win Seattle, you're not going to be governor out here.
Yeah, well, and unfortunately, from what I'm hearing, Seattle is completely woke.
Yeah, Seattle is why Washington has not had a Republican governor since the mid-'80s. And it's kind of the same like out in Michigan. If you can't win Detroit, you can't be governor out there, right?
Well, not really, because Detroit's kind of a hellhole. Or as Trump would put, a shithole.
Okay. But, this is an interesting novel name.
Well, I don't think Detroit has as much power as everyone thinks anymore, because Republicans are able to win as governor, but they cannot win as mayor of Detroit.
Interesting.
Yep. I think for the most part it's because of how poorly Detroit's ran. They have a lot of power outages because they can't pay to upgrade the power grid. They're constantly in debt.
Wait, so you imported politicians from South Africa?
No.
Basically.
Mike Whitaker says Bay Area, LA, and Sacramento rule most of what is California's politics. Yeah, of course they do. Oh, man, if you can't win LA, you are not going to have a political career here in California.
Escape from LA needs to happen where the city gets separated from the rest of the country via an earthquake.
Yup. Or at least separate Hollywood from it.
Yeah. Anyways, I shared a very interesting novel name that popped up in my timeline just now with you guys on Slack.
Catherine Sadler, a
It's urban fantasy.
I don't think I want to know.
Injured
No, it's actually quite funny.
Injured UFC fighter Julie Jacobs just wants to heal and get back in the cage. She's got no time for a werewolf fighter or a pushy alpha, no matter how sexy he is.
Oh God!
Read the name
Fighting
of the
furry.
novel.
Fighting furry.
Oh God! Oh God!
How's that for funny?
This is just with a name like that, you have to. There's just no way you can play this thing straight. You have to play it like a joke.
Unfortunately, it looks serious.
Oh well, what a name! Fighting furry.
Oh my God, that just
nothing to do with the fighting furries who are against Medicare.
like those. Oh please, like anyone's gonna take those serious?
Somebody might.
I was going. Oh, I just saw your response to Brian, Matt. I was going to, but I remembered one side supported overturning a popular vote outcome, and the other's a crazy person.
Which I'll leave up to you.
Yeah. You do know Trey is gonna tell you to go vote, right?
Oh yeah. I know what's going to happen. Which will be pretty funny.
Really, about the only person who can respond in this and not get shit from Trent is Tank.
Yeah. Because he lives in another country.
Oh, that's the one thing that gives me quite a bit of leeway to say a lot of things.
Honestly, though, I don't think there's a political party I really want to vote for anymore, because the Libertarian Party has taken up more and more SJW positions.
They're such a, oh my God, the Libertarians are such a joke these days.
And they denied access to the convention to Judge Napolitano and Ron Paul, who created the modern day libertarian movement.
How dumb can you be? I don't think Ron Paul wants anything to do with the libertarians these days.
No, neither does Rand Paul.
Yeah, I mean, no, and why would they? I mean, like, for fuck's sake, there was a during one of these libertarian conventions, it was saying, you know what, maybe making hard drugs accessible to kids is not a good idea, and he got booed for it. Because
yeah, that seems pretty reasonable to me.
Yeah, he got booed for it because he was suggesting that they should, because he's suggesting that they deny access to hard drugs for children. Because, and apparently that's not being free market enough to these spurgs.
There's a limit. There's a limit to it. It's called common sense, and common sense is you don't give hard drugs to kids.
Mike Whitaker says Stossel is the only libertarian that's good, but he's probably the only one.
Judge Napolitano, I think, is more libertarian.
Just like, yeah. Like, you know what? I think Dick Masterson had the best take on all this. Libertarianism is astrology for men.
Yeah.
Sounds like it. So my choices for voting next year are down to the following. I either have to vote for the Freedom Front Plus. Yes, they actually had to call themselves the FF Plus, for fuck's sake. Or hold on to your hats for this guy name, guys. COPE,
the ANC.
Congress of the People. There's no fucking way I'm voting for the ANC. Fuck that noise. Go jump off the nearest bridge and break your ankles, please.
Oh, man. Fair to say there's not a proper right-wing party out in South Africa.
Well, we don't need a proper right-wing party. We just need a proper centrist party. which we do actually have. The problem is they went woke recently.
Oh, fuck.
Yep, the DA. They used to be, they're a major opposition. And in the last couple of years, last 2-3 years, they went completely woke. They started jumping on every single issue you could think of. Gender politics, identity politics, white guilt, you fucking name it. And the thing is, they're going to be punished for it next year at the polls. They just don't realize it.
Yeah.
But the thing that probably scares me the most is it's got nothing to do with politics. It is the sheer, and I've said this quite a few times on Twitter, but the sheer amount of thoughts that we got working at our company right now is scary. I mean, I shit you not. The one girl that was recently hired, she's got a boyfriend. He drives a fancy car. I mean, the thing's been tuned, souped, you name it. That's a very nice car, and he dresses nicely and everything. And yet, at work, she flirts with every single other guy. If it's got 2 legs and a dick, she's all over it.
So what you're trying to say is that this guy's I hear her boyfriend's a cuck.
I wouldn't know. I don't know him.
Well, if he's going after every guy she can get, and he's still with her, that implies some lack of self-respect.
Or he doesn't know.
Or he's
either way, she's a thought.
Yeah, that's what she is.
Yep.
That's what she is, out and out. So I'm like, yeah, look, she looks nice. I mean, I've yet to see a thought that doesn't look good, but yeah.
We do know one that doesn't look good. But she who shall not be named.
Oh, her, yeah.
Oh well. Skip to the end.
The one that everyone loves to hate, it seems.
Yeah. We're just. I'm just. Whitaker says, "I'm just waiting for politics to stop being making apocalypse preachers look sane."
That's not going to happen.
I'm just on Twitter now. I see Avid is just commenting on watching GoldenEye again, where they talked about having a 500 megabyte hard drive. Yeah, I also remember the time when computers first came out here in South Africa back in the early 90s. Yes, we were quite behind the times. 40 megabyte hard drive. This is all the storage space you'll ever need.
Yeah. Yeah, that turned out to be a big lie.
Well, at that point in time, it was the biggest that was available.
Yeah.
But the funniest thing is the town I grew up in, shit moved so slow there. So just to conceptualize to you how slow it actually moved, if you ever went to your doctor and your doctor gave you like 3 years to live, move to my old town, you'll have another 4.
Really?
That is how slow shit moved there.
Wow. Yeah. Is it fair to say like the plumbing hadn't been upgraded since like the 30s?
A lot of the stuff in that town was still, the oldest house that was still standing in the town was from the town's founding and was still in good condition.
Wow.
Damn, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, let me quickly see if I can find that here.
I'm still kind of impressed though that your guys actually managed to kick out the Soviets back in the 80s.
Well, let me put it this way. We had a highly motivated military, well-trained. And why do you think the majority of our former soldiers are now some of the highest paid mercenaries in the world?
Really?
Yep.
So basically, the ones who are good at waging war went mercenary.
No, the reason they went mercenary is not because of any other reason, basically for the one sole reason that our government didn't want them in the military.
Wow, they're dumb. I mean, the government, not them.
Same with our former policemen. Every single police officer, commander, you name it, from the previous regime, the moment the ANC took power, they were all fired and let go of their jobs. What did they do? They started every single private security company we currently have in this country.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, I'm looking at the link you just put in. This thing has actual tourist attractions.
Yep. Although the funny thing right now, so we had a botanical gardens in the town. What happened was, your standard story of corruption. So a lot of the richest guys in town got together, bribed the mayor, bought the land for where the botanical garden was, and they made themselves a nice little security estate there now.
Huh.
Yep. Government-owned land. There was a heritage area, which they just went and built some shit for themselves.
Man.
Yeah. Fun times.
You know, if I ever feel like that the U.S. government is incompetent, I'm going to ask you to tell me a story about your government.
Don't worry. I'm certain I got stories.
Yeah, I think we got enough. I think we've got enough on that. So,
Yeah? Sounds like you got a question.
no, I didn't actually have a question. I was just stretching my legs out.
Oh, okay.
So, fun topic.
Yes?
Well, what does everyone think about the chances of the new Witcher series?
I do not place it being high. It's just like the reaction to pretty much everything that they've been doing with it has been overwhelmingly negative.
I shall take the stance I always take on these things. I shall reserve judgment until I've seen it.
Oh, yeah. Same here. I certainly hope that they don't take away the core concept of Geralt and that he's a non-political character.
Yeah, I think we can already, that is the one thing you can already throw out the way.
Yeah, despite the fact that in the book he talks about about the importance of Witchers being neutral parties.
Yeah.
They'll find some way to spin that to be political.
Here's the thing, though. Like, Netflix is in a very enviable position because they literally can put anything on that service as long as there's enough content that people are going to still want to consume, like the shows or movies that they get the license for. As long as they've still got people subscribed to their service, they literally can put whatever they want in their original programming and they don't have to take it off. They
have an ingenious platform.
Yeah. So yeah, like if they would have, yeah, they could. I'll put it this way: they don't need. They can make The Witcher as woke as they want, as long as they've got people watching other content and subscribe to the service. Like they'll say, "Hey, if people don't have to, we've got other things on our service."
Yeah, you can.
Which is exactly why they are doing what they're doing.
Yeah, they don't real. Yeah, basically, they don't have to listen to a thing the fans say.
I'm starting to think that these shows are just a tax dump of some sort for them.
Probably. I can't wait until after the show premieres and the author of the books goes, "Man, I can't believe the 2003 series is the best adaptation of my work."
Well, to be fair, it was made by actual Polish people.
Yeah, but they changed so much about the character for it. And the writing was awful.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those sad things that no book series will ever be properly converted to a proper TV series or movie ever.
Yeah, with the
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like, I think there was like that Jeremy Brett Sherlock Holmes series. People seem to like that.
Oh yeah, that was a great series. But that was because Jeremy Brett was able to be Sherlock Holmes. He wasn't written to be some kind of new male character who has some kind of social disorder.
So, in other words, you are not a fan of the Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock.
I think Benedict Cumberbatch is a good Sherlock Holmes. I think that if he had good writing, he'd be better than Jeremy Brett. But he doesn't. And there's another thing, that element that made the character interesting. His cocaine addiction.
True. Well, I thought it was opium.
It was cocaine. 7% solution.
I mean, of course, the BBC is not going to do that. At least, well, not the modern BBC.
No, because all of our heroes have to be role models. They can't have a speck of darkness.
Yeah. Well, about the closest they got to was Sherlock admitting, I'm not a psychopath, I'm a high-functioning sociopath.
Yeah. They did. There is an explanation of why Sherlock Holmes uses drugs, and it's because of how his mind works. He needs his mind to be active at all times, otherwise he'll go crazy.
Yeah, that was something the Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes own movies actually kind of captured pretty well. Like at the beginning of Game of Shadows, like you could see like when Watson walks in and he's got that whole, he's got like all that things, he's got that big thing set up, the web connecting everything to Moriarty.
Yep. It's and there's also one thing that people tend to forget about Sherlock Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
He did not know about the solar system. That was
really?
Basically, yeah, he did. The way his mind worked was that he'd set up his mind so that only the important things were going in, and anything that wasn't important to what he was doing, it was irrelevant to him. He did not need to know it, and he'll forget about it almost instantly after, such as when he was told about the solar system model. He said, he just basically said, I don't need to know it, therefore I'm going to forget about it.
So yeah, I mean, like there's at least one book series that had a good television adaptation.
Yeah. Yeah, but
okay, I think I should actually rephrase that. No current book series will be adapted well.
I mean, yeah, Game of Thrones, I don't think would ever have a proper adaptation because of all the storylines.
It's amazing to me that Game of Thrones still has fans, and it's just it's just been on a downward slope since season 5.
That's why they're ending it at season 8. They wanted to go on a higher note than The Big Bang Theory.
God damn, why did that show stick around?
Because there were a bunch of people who watched it. Same reason Rick and Morty is still sticking around. There's people that watch it.
Oh my god! Like Rick and Morty is going to be this generation's Big Bang Theory, isn't it?
It already is.
You gotta have a high IQ to understand it. You gotta go to McDonald's. Yeah, I roll around on the floor screaming, "I'm pickle rich, Eric," while reading like a retard.
Thank fuck I'm not that smart.
So what? You got to tell me you had to have a high IQ to understand Bazinga.
Yes, you had to have a very high IQ to understand that.
Fuck. No,
Although I-
avid. No, avid. Rick and Morty is not this generation's Family Guy. It's this generation's Big Bang Theory.
Family Guy was at least funny.
For a while.
Did you hear? Was.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we heard was. Yeah, it was.
As.
At least Family Guy had Patrick Stewart slapping around Will Wheaton.
Oh God, I could watch that. I could watch that clip on a loop.
Another clip I could watch on a loop is the one in CSI, the Las Vegas version of the show. One of the later seasons where the character Nick Stokes shoots the Justin Bieber character numerous times over. I could watch that on loop. I actually have to go find that again. I have to watch it again.
It's like it's like the creators knew people want this to happen, so they're giving everyone a little Schadenfreude.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It does. If I get it, it does feel good seeing those. Yes. Oh God. Yes, that one. I think I remember back in the early days of my YouTube channel, I actually made a meme video, and this was back when the whole "what you say" thing was a meme was big. I did one of those, and it was with that clip.
Oh boy.
That was those were the days. Those memes were so quaint.
So many memes.
Now it's all about the memes have just the memes
boring.
have they've evolved, and now it's all about racist frogs now.
That's the stupid promo shot.
On one side you got racist frogs. On the other side you got the left over explaining stuff in a meme.
Yeah. I'm not even going to go into memes because it is too funny to see. I think it's that's the funniest thing I could probably say, that no matter where you are in the world, the left can't meme. They just can't.
They can. No, they cannot.
Nope.
Well, they can, unironically and unintentionally. But when they try to go out of their way to do it, it completely falls flat and fails.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have yet to see a good left-wing meme.
Never gonna happen.
No, it only becomes funny when the people on the right side take it and run with it, properly make it one.
Yep.
Gee, thanks for giving me this fuel that you couldn't do properly.
They're just so dumb. So dumb.
Okay, this popped up on my timeline.
Guys, I can't hear you.
Can somebody explain Goblin Slayer to me?
I haven't read it or seen it, so I can't.
Hey guys, I can't seem to hear you. Can people in the chat, can you hear Matt or Tank talking?
I can hear Tank.
Brett, what do you break now?
Yeah, Brett, what's going on?
Okay, because I cannot hear them.
Did something get unplugged?
Oh, that would be a mistake.
Okay, now I can hear you again, Tank. Matt?
You there?
Boy.
It's there.
Did you hear
So,
that?
Okay, it might have been something on my end because I lost you guys for a second.
Ah, whoops.
Uh.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Google trying to strike us.
Oh no, don't go there. That's gonna become a running joke now, right?
Yeah, we get every time we do a stream, we say, "Oh, hey, maybe YouTube is striking us this time."
Let's rather not tempt fate.
Oh man, if there's anyone who gave Alex Jones ammunition, it was Google.
Mm. So yeah,
But
nobody can explain Goblin Slayer to me. I still have to watch it though, or at least try to.
is Brett still there?
But then again, I think he dropped.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's gone, which means the stream's gonna die soon.
Yep. Bye everyone. In case it all goes off.
Yeah, if we drop off, that means the stream died,
Yep.
and we'll blame Brett for it
Oh yeah, it's always Brett's fault.
because it's his fault.
Yep, he's hosting.
Yeah, well, he's the killer of streams.
Yep. Okay, it looks like his connection died.
Which
So,
means this is definitely going to go down soon.
thanks everyone for joining us in
Yeah.
case we drop out.
Yeah. Oh well. So, Matt, just to keep this train rolling, how is progress on Mythics?
What?
How is your progress on Mythics?
Oh, it's going pretty well. I've got the stories. Got pretty much the story down packed. It's just the whole getting it out. And getting the artist on board with getting pages down for the comic. Right.
Yeah, that's
right.
seems to be usually the problem with anything. I've got the story written now, I just need to get it drawn.
Yep. And
The eternal problem.
I am pretty upset that Model 3 is not doing very well on Indiegogo.
Well, I'm also he's not marketing himself.
Doesn't seem like it's.
I mean, he's got no crowdfire shouts running. He's got nothing. He's relying purely on shouts from everybody else to do it. And my biggest problem is, even with that, a certain other comic called Sporkman is also struggling to get funded.
Yeah. It's either there is just a lot of problems with having it going.
Yeah, but but the whole thing is, not everybody should look at the major successes and from the first time out, oh, I'm gonna do this and make it big. It's not always going to happen because it's a process.
Yeah,
And sometimes you have to prepare for a failure the first time. It's not a nice thing to think about, that you may unfortunately have to plan for a failure the first time out, but it does seem like that is the rule and not the exception.
Yeah, I've done my research on crowdfunding, and I noticed that just about every single creator that's doing very, very well, such as getting up to $17,000 for a campaign, they started off with with a canceled because they didn't reach the funding.
Yeah. But the whole thing there is what you could probably construe that to is they learn from their mistakes, and then the second time out, they're running with everything that they learned. So they learned from their mistakes. They looked where to streamline the tiers and things like that.
Yep. And then they develop a fan base. They'll allow them to get the big bucks. But that's the thing. That's the reason why I've worked on my idea. The whole thing is that I'm using crowdfunding as something of a more of a gain money and then an advertising kind of thing. Get my work out there, and then when maybe after second or third issue is funded, I'd go over to Patreon. That was the original idea, but seeing how Rags is doing right now in comparison to other crowdfunding